Hi, everyone. Welcome to Divine Guidance with me, Patricia. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Things are going great. There's a lot happening in the world today. Oh, yeah, baby. So, here I'm going to invite my guests in a minute, but I was really guided and pushed to give a personal message before we start today, and actually a challenge. So here we go. We all are aware that we're in a spiritual war right now. Okay, so you know what? If you take a look at it, there's been a spiritual war going on since this beautiful planet was created. Now, Mother Earth herself is already going way guns ahead of the human race. She's inviting us along to the party. She's quite aware of all the players from up there and down there. You know what I mean? And she's got it going. And so my challenge is I've been hearing a lot of spiritual platforms going within, shutting down. Get out of the sandbox. Get into it. This is a time to shine your light, show your gifts, and be who you truly are. Don't be afraid. This is the time to do it. The other thing I want to give you is I've heard a lot of truthers out there, and they're really jumping on to knowing it's got to be spiritual as well. So we need some spiritual truth out there. So I challenge anyone out there to invite me to your platform, invite me to your show, because Mother Earth has some high vibrating automatic tools to give everyone on the planet. As humanitarians, it's time for truth of spirit. So contact me through my website, divineguidance.earth, and let's have a chat. I challenge you. Come on my show. I challenge you. Bring me on your show. It'll be 40 minutes of eye-opening. Oh my goodness, we didn't know that. And that'll help. All right. So enough about me. I'm devoting the rest of my show to this beautiful divine lady has become like a daughter to me and my husband. And Papa Pat says hi as well. So, and she is artistic is not the word for her. Creative is not the word for her. She brings in everything from timelines to information fields, going from the ancients from behind us and the ancients leading us. This lady makes her own art material, her own paint. She's just gotten into feeling and knowing what she's bringing into. And with the most authenticity and divine love, this lady brings forward her creations. She's got something new for us today, folks. She's doing Cosmos Mirrors. And it's a time to reflect, isn't it? It's a time to reflect on who we are, clear out all the gunk, and bring in all that we didn't know we are. So with that, I'm going to invite Miss Charlotte Nickel. How are you, darling?
Hey, good
Welcome.
morning. I'm doing great. I'm here in the Carmel Valley in Big Sur, California, where I live, and I'm currently being interviewed in my school bus, which I'm shifting it over into a moving garden for the Big Sur. And I live in the ancient redwoods, so my internet isn't so good. So I just came out to the valley, and I'm here to get some sunshine. Excited to chat about all this, actually.
You're an amazing being because over the last 2 years, you have roughed it in your car just to go where Spirit wanted you to go to receive the information. Is that
Yeah,
not right?
definitely. I mean, during COVID, I had a really hard, let's say, reflective time, and I decided I wanted to go on a vision quest, and I had it with Randy during COVID, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go in my car, I'm gonna go hang out in San Diego Desert, I'm gonna do this vision quest, a vision quest. Most of the time in nature, you know, you gaze with the bears or whoever you're gonna meet, but I said, no, this is gonna be a quest to see where I'm supposed to go with. So it transformed actually this idea that I for years a dream of making mirrors, and then it came forth through COVID. Funny enough, pushed me actually to realize, so to speak.
Yeah, that's amazing because the first beautiful being that I've heard that the so-called lockdown isolation pandemic uh
And then
pushed
make it
everyone to so there's a lot of positive things that came out of it. Some of it might have actually been planned, I wonder, by beautiful beings. However, it allowed people to get to know them. What is the balance of my fear of life and my living life?
exactly, and how to realize that you don't want the noose of fear around you, and you want to figure out to be an observer and not get the effect, rise above it all and be an observer. And that's the ultimate power there, is like listening to spirit also in all of that, knowing your truth and sticking with that during those times everything was pushed on us. Like who's afraid? Who's gonna, obviously it was difficult for a lot of people, but it's a good test, okay?
Yeah, I think it was, and it still is, an attribute to the human spirit, to humanity. Where do we want to go now? Where do we want to venture? And a lot of those answers don't always come from now. You're in now to receive the answers, but a lot of the answers come from ancient wisdom, re-understanding and knowing the messages of those who walked before us.
Definitely, and it sent me into this really deep space of meditation and guided meditation, doing a lot of doing a lot of quantum jumping meditations and changing boxes. And why the concept of the mirror, why I call it mirrored cosmos, why it's so important is because what is inside is reflective of the outside in the illusion. And I got the idea. A friend and I were chatting, and I first noticed in when I was in Peru, I was hiking Machu Picchu, and
Mm.
I was there. I saw the archaeological site just on the way roads off the side near the rivers and going to Machu Picchu, and they had the astrology observation waters. Yes, and look how they would observe the stars was they would look into the water, and then they could look at what's going on in space. So I thought, well, yeah, Miracle Cosmos says a lot exactly about the cosmos within us and also outside of it, and so on and so forth. So that's where, part of where I got the idea. And also the dream I was in a building that looked like the sky. And I opened these doors and there were 7 mirrors, 3 on either side and one ahead of me. And I walked in, walked straight in. They were huge. They're about 20 feet high. And the one mirror ahead of me had serpents, snakes, beautiful snakes all around the mirror. And the mirror tells me, it says, look into me and ask any question and see anything you would like. And that was, and from there, this idea to, oh, I should create, put it off for some people. I had some people say, oh, that, this and that. And then finally, during COVID, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of the old paradigm. Time to jump, and I'm going to do this. So it goes to show you, don't ever listen to what anybody has to say. Resonate with what you, no matter how scared you are, if you jump or you're starting from scratch. Just keep with the truth and what you're meant to do because spirit will guide you, and just focus on mastering anything that you love and things will appear. That's what I learned.
I think that's amazing. Now, there are many moments of empowerment in our life. And as you were sharing about that snake asking you to ask any question at all, what I
Yeah.
felt from your whole being was empowerment. Is that how it worked?
Yeah. In the dream, the realization that we could ask anything, and if we're open to receiving reflection of ourselves, whatever that, then we'll get the answers. And it's just a matter of how you're open to see and how you're open to heart open to this and figuring out, is it mine, is it heart, or is it the power, gauging all the, that is what I learned.
Well, you know, right underneath the heart is the seat of the soul. That's why it's called the solar plexus. And
Ah,
the basket, you know, like if you get hit in that area, you've lost your breath. And of course, breath is the eternal connection between creator and the
mm.
spirit that is brought into your earth form in order to bring all that you are into this lifetime. So all the information, all the energy, everything that you are is embedded into your earth body by your spirit. So that part right underneath the heart is a very important part for soul growth.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. I've been doing the quantum leap meditation lately and shifting from the lower belly up to the that area and doing the Merkaba meditations, and
Yeah,
it's balancing that, the poles of the, as above so below, because then I can go into the spiritual realm a lot, and I got really frustrated with this, like the way things were here, but then I realized, like, no, the trick of being here, I need to balance that and understand energetic and material and all that. So I guess that was my kind of lesson that took me a while. Because I mean, being on other planes can be a lot, but even being here, it's important to be in that. I think like what you're talking about in the beginning, these like amazing beings coming here, is that we're shifting this place into that. So that's what we're here
absolutely. To do our part. Speaking of which, we're going to do our part, take a quick break, and we are going to introduce you, audience, to the artwork of this beautiful lady. It will blow your mind. We'll
for.
be right back. Welcome back to, where are we? What planet? Oh yeah, we're on Divine Guidance with Patricia. And I love this show. I love the ability to bring people forward and let them share their beauty. And this is a new thing for Charlotte, and she's really put it together into a business fashion. So bringing people forward who are really stepping out. Last week's guest was a beautiful elder who is stepping out with her teachings and sharing. So this is amazing. I love doing this part and bringing people forward who are really letting go of so much stuff and just going full scale ahead. And I can see it and feel it in your being. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate and love your work. And
Thank you.
so let's get to some of the mirrors. I mean, the fact that you make your own paint and you make your own, can you give us a little more from in the wood that you choose and everything
Yeah.
has a divine purpose? Let's get into some of that.
Okay, so basically, I'm somewhat self-taught, and my uncle was a carver. He showed me when I was a teenager, and then I found out my great great uncle in Samuland up in Norway, the reindeer people, was he's a
Yes.
famous carver, and I didn't know that. And then I started carving, and during COVID, I didn't have a wood shop, so I'd go to the gym. And I practiced. I subscribed to a Russian wood crafting website, and how I taught myself was on the treadmill or the bike. I would see what he would be doing, and I would reenact it in my mind and get my body used to doing it, because I said, I'm going to do this no matter what. So I'd be on the bike for an hour learning wood carving, more so. And so then I happened to meet a really amazing person here, and he's a firefighter in the Big Sur fire department, and he collects reclaimed old growth redwood and saves it from people throwing it away. So I
Okay.
use old growth redwood, and I use reclaimed wood from the coast. And I originally was going to, go to Home Depot, whatever, and get some. And it's like, well, why not get it from around here and work with the beauty and the spirit of the forest? Because I live near Pico Blanco, which is the people in this area, the Selenin. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the other nations' names, but their origin story starts at Pico Blanco, which is in Big Sur.
Would it be
And
the Seneca?
I think you could be right. But
Okay.
so being there is a really special place. I live in the redwoods next to a waterfall.
Wow.
And so I always want to pay respect to that area. And this wood is just absolutely stunning. It's like uncovering treasure because it's usually covered in dust. It comes from fences or old watering containers. And when you when you work with it, it's just like it's speaking to you, and
The
it tells you
stories
what,
are coming to you?
yeah, yeah. So I
Really?
work with that's what I work with, and I go to the beach. I collect driftwood and redwood from there, and I'm going to be making sculptures. But as far as my supplies, I research how things were done back in the day because um, I guess I'll talk about each one specifically. But I have a love for like the idea of alchemy and transforming earth materials
Yes.
into paint because I believe that what I do is I program the materials. I do prayers over the ground crystals, for example, the earth. And when you use natural pigments in oil paint or whatever, the light creates optical illusion, and not every crystal is the same, unlike in synthetic stuff. That's
Hmm.
why I don't use acrylic anymore. Not putting down acrylic, but for me, you ever look at a master's piece of painting, it gives you this glow that is ethereal, and that's because of the layers of the crystals and their vibration. And so again, I program the paint. I put new prayers if it's for the ancestors, like in some of these new mirrors that I've created. It's an homage to what the ancestors are telling me to bring forth, like what they would use in the temples or, on the clothing or whatnot. So I research a lot of that, and then I do a ceremony, and I make it, and I, play around with that. So
Beautiful. All right, so
yeah.
I think what we should do, I'd like to bring up, Jacob, if you want to bring up some of the pictures of the cat mirror.
Ah,
You can't see it, Charlotte, but I
yeah.
started off, I sent you the email with the layout of the pictures. And so, to
Yeah.
show the fact that you have the picture of the cats and you carved the cats from that picture. So
Yeah.
take us through the step of the cat mirror. And Jacob, you can just have free reign of timing the pictures coming up if you like.
Okay, so with the cat mirror, I had to sit down with my friend, and it was during COVID, and I didn't have a woodworking shop, but I knew that I was supposed to make these. And I just started talking about mirrors to people and my ideas. And this guy said, I want a mirror, without even seeing anything I'd done. And because I was so excited about it, I said, okay, let's sit down, let's talk about it. Tell me what themes you want, this and that, and symbols. So his idea was he wanted guardian kitties, he wanted the panther and the jaguar, he wanted angel sigils because he works with angels,
Hmm.
and he wanted honeybees or wasps, and then specific crystals. And I've worked with the jaguar, the panther before. I have a lot of
Yes.
dreams, so I'm they're like family to me. I feel the energy of them and whatnot, and I respect the kitties. So
Well, let's just give us a quick summary of the medicine of the jaguar and the medicine of the cougar or Black
okay,
Panther, I think it was, wasn't it?
yeah, the Black Panther. So from my understanding, Um, I look at the spots as eyes, and I know the panther actually is a jaguar, but only darker. So it too has spots. And I believe that the panther actually it's pretty relaxed when it hunts or it's out in the jungle. It'll stay in the middle of the floor and be relaxed, and nothing really bothers it. And to me, the jaguar is like protection, the night, medicine from the jungle, and I think, in a way, femininity and sexual energy.
Yeah, I was going to say protection of sexual energy, but also allowing the pathway of creativity.
Okay, yeah, that feels about right. So,
Okay.
yeah, I've had visions of them, and I've had a reading about Africa and the panther, and then I've had dreams of the jaguar in the jungle coming to me, and also coming from pyramids above the canopies of 5 pyramids. So from there, I have jaguar fur that was given to me in Peru. So for some reason, they just keep coming to me. So he asked for those, and I said, okay, that's great. I put them on the top because he wanted them, the protectors of the mirror, because he wanted to do readings in the mirror. And so I work with that. And then he wanted the sun and the moon. So I did the angel sigil at the top, and I did sun rays with stardust. And then at the bottom, I did 3 honeybees with honeycomb going within honeycomb. And I embedded a quartz crystal in the center and put an LED light behind, and it would shine through at night. It looks awesome. And that's the only part I lit up. And then from the honeybees, I had citrine drops that I found it, and it looked just like honey drops. I said, this is just perfect. He had asked for citrine, so it worked out. And then I was thinking like Fibonacci, golden spirals, and I thought, okay, well, I thought of sunflowers. I remember having a sunflower garden. The bees love the sunflower, and in the center of the sunflower is the spiral. So I decided, why not do a honeycomb spiral coming off into eyes, and the magnetic field of Earth going into the center of the honeybees, the donut, I call it, going in the center and generating.
Nice.
And then all of that kind of veered out into the angel wings. And the feathers, when I researched it, I found, well, some of the original art of the angels had eyes in the wing.
Yes, I remember those. Yes.
So I thought to myself, well, it'd be really cool to have them wrap around as they're like holding the mirror frame. So the trick I used was reflection. So the feathers would come around the inside of the mirror, and it would be a reflection of that. I thought that would be kind of a unique concept. And then I used quartz, citrine. I used what is it? Celestine. It's the angelic crystal that's kind of blue, and I embedded that in the directions for the angel sigils. And then cat's eye for both kitties. And
you're talking about the prophecy stone. I've got
it's
a
kind of blue,
here.
celestite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celestite.
That's
Celestite.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he requested that, and I ended up drilling little holes around the angel sigils where the borders of protection were. And I crushed them by hand, and then I sprinkled them, and I swear they look like stardust. It's just beautiful. And I glued them in there. And then I was researching gold. I wanted to paint with gold. So I found out in ancient manuscripts, holy manuscripts in temples, they would hand make gold paint, and they would paint from a shell. So it's called shell gold.
Okay.
And so you have to take gold leaf and sit there for like an hour or two, and you're patting it with your fingers with a certain gum arabic.
Okay.
And so you make a watercolor from it. And when I painted it, it was again like I was painting with stars. It's like pure gold is just wonderful to work with. So it's relaxing. And I made sure to engrave on the back only for my highest good, because I feel like I'm working with really powerful forces, and mirrors are doorways. And for the highest good, if this person wants to read or they want to chat through the other side, I want to make sure that, the door has a lock on it, so to speak, and not everybody can just come in the house. So,
well,
yeah.
That was one of the questions. You're so gifted, because in working with mirrors and them being open doorways, what control or what type of ability as the creator of it to allow that to only be used for good? Like, you're not responsible for the person that you gift it to or give it to or whatever. Their actions are theirs. But thank you for answering that. By putting that on the back, you took it away from being used, right? So that person that you gifted it to would have a hard time breaking that seal, And if they did, that seal, you probably would know it automatically because you put that strong seal of light on there, would you?
Yeah, well, I also learned another thing that a friend of mine taught me, and um, what I learned is that after it, to break any of my energy with that mirror, I focus, and I basically I've taken eucalyptus, bay, and cinnamon, and I've she told me to smoke it around myself. Her grandmother's from Nicaragua. She's a healer, so she
Hmm.
told me to do that, and then she says, I am the creator and I am the destroyer, and I destroy my creation and I create it. And I said, any beings around here that are not for my highest good can F off. And I say it, and I put my
Be
foot down,
gone.
because you know what? You're talking about spiritual warfare. I've had some experiences that were pretty scary, and I've had to learn on the spot about that, and it's not to be taken lightly at all. And so she was telling me these things because she was sensing, it's like, you got to be really careful, obviously. So I'm very, very careful with what I'm gonna make. Like I'm only into like light magic and things that are going to uplift, and I have no interest in that other side whatsoever. No
But
disrespect, but
it's really refreshing. And I think a lot more artists in many different levels and ways, even a lot more channels, um, anyone working with spirit right now are being pushed to take responsibility in
oh
that
yeah,
matter, right? Where before it was a
yeah,
little bit more what I called airy fairy, and I can't help
right.
it. That's not a judgment, but it
No,
was. It
it
was.
is. You're
You had
totally
light
right.
workers going out there doing ceremony, not by divine guidance, but by self will,
Yeah,
and a lot of things being created. So I'm seeing a slow move down on that because quite a few of us have damn well put it out there. Responsibility is going to return to those who do not take responsibility. Simple.
yeah.
So thank you for that. I really appreciate you putting that message
I,
forward. It's a very good one.
I got a quote from my aunt. She says, "If you don't be careful, you're going to get a smackdown from the universe." So I
That's
always
it.
remember that. I don't want a smackdown. I'm good. I had enough smackdown.
Yeah, I remember a beautiful. I think you met her online with us a couple times, but a beautiful Mi'kmaq grandma. She said every time Creator goes like this, I know it. Ting, gives you
Yeah,
that
I
little
just
ting
want
in
to
the
ting. I don't want to bop over the head. I'm good with a
head,
little
just a little ping.
ting.
That's all it takes. There you go. All right. So, is there anything more you want to share on the maybe we should pull up the Mayan one. Now the Mayan
Yeah.
one I thought was absolutely brilliant because it functions not only as a mirror but as an altar. So
Yes.
in the fact that when you're putting your divine intent in sacred ceremony and prayer, you're doing it unveiled and naked. I found it like a naked soul standing in front of that mirror and revealing all that they are and accepting and allowing all that they are. Is that how it would feel?
I
That's how
think
it felt to me.
that's the way to do it. And lately, with my meditations and just getting out of my head, I go into the nothing. I go into the void and the universe, what do you want to call it? And I let go of that. You know, all the things that are the baggage and whatnot. If it comes up, I'm working really hard on it. But when I want to create, I want to go into that pure source. That's where I'm going with it, so that the energy comes through me, because I feel like I can get more messages from that. So basically, how it works is the guy who bought the cat mirror, consigned the cat mirror, he wanted to make this out of a token of his love for his girlfriend. So I said, okay, well, it'd be nice to meet her, and I need some kind of symbols or ideas of like, what am I working with here? So he told me that, well, okay, it's a surprise, but I want these crystals. I want this it, and I want hummingbirds, the four directions, the lunar cycles, and what was the other thing? And marigolds. And then when I met her, she kind of added on to wanting the marigolds a certain way, and that's all they gave me. And they just wanted a mirror at first, and I said, I found out she was her family from Mexico City and went back, and the Aztecs, it goes back into the Olmecs. We're all a little mixed up in history anyway, but primarily Aztec influence there. And I said, shit, I'm going to do this for the ancestors. Like, even now, I'm feeling like tingles. Like, I feel it like here is like kind of a really strong energy right now. But what happened was I ended up, this is why my tooth is funny. I got the hockey smile because I went to Mexico to get my teeth done, and I brought her with me because I wanted to work on her for the 2 weeks I was at the BRBO. I brought her with me. I said, she needs to come back to the motherland, right? So I brought the carving with me, worked on it in Mexico, brought it back, and I used reclaimed redwood over 100 years old from a watershed, I think you call it. And my partner, he found it for me, and just the most beautiful wood ever from the area. And so I ended up, I love Mexican folk art, and I thought it'd be really cool to have like kind of like the traditional folkloric altars they have in Mexico, the mirror, and then they have a little space where they put the candles. And my influence in California has been to the Dia de los Muertos experiences here, and the dancers with the feathers and the marigolds and the skulls. So I really love it, and I thought, it'd be so cool to have the doors of half the face of the ancestors opening up, and then boom, you see yourself. I mean, it's really speaks, right? That the ancestors
Transformational. Absolutely transformational. Hi, Grandma. Here I am now.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
part of the grandma here. Here I am. I'm part of that grandma. That's yeah. I can
Right,
feel that.
right.
I can feel
So
it.
I was researching hummingbirds. She wanted me, the girl who I did it for, she wanted me to use these like pottery kind of Aztec style, very simple hummingbirds from her incense holder, the Mexican incense holder, and the flowers. So I thought, I want to get a circular mirror in the center. She wanted the lunar cycles around that, and then the hummingbirds in the four directions. And I happen to have a ton of hummingbirds on my property that come every day. So hummingbirds meant a lot to me as well, because the funny thing was, when I was in Mexico carving this, I went to a Mexican circus called Sin Sanzun, based on a hummingbird pyramid in Mexico. And it went back to the folkloric, the beginning of the gods and the goddesses of the times. And I happened to go to the pyramid of the hummingbird, and I got this obsidian next to the pyramid.
Nice.
And obsidian was used as a very important part of mirrors back scrying in Mayan times, in Egyptian times, and Queen Elizabeth's magician back in the day used an obsidian scrying mirror. So it's like full circle with the hummingbirds. So the lunar cycles I put all around the mirror, added the flowers, opened up with the marigolds on the inside of the door. So I embedded raw emerald and moonstone around the edge of the lunar cycle. And then again, I made, it's called champagne gold. Same thing as the 24 karat gold, but I added pure silver. And so it looks like champagne when you paint it, the color champagne. So I painted the moons with this gold and silver and some of the hummingbird bodies, and they look like they're kind of glowing. And so the paint that I made was from pure turquoise.
Nice.
And I used my archival Maya blue, which was used in the pyramids. It's a special blue. They figured out how to recreate it. And it's one of the first man-made pigments in the Americas, which is a mix of a I forget the name. It's a blue that comes from plants and some calcium and other things. But the ancient Mayans and Aztecs figured out how to hand make pigment back in the day. And then I found out cochineal is made from these little bugs that love the cactus. And they're
Really?
used, yeah, they're used in cosmetics, in food, in clothing dye. And they used to be used back in the day, Mexico, South America, for the clothing. And in the temples, if you look at the temples, you'll see that mine blue, the turquoise, and that cochineal, which is almost like a deep magenta, earthy color. So what I learned is with that cochineal, they collect the bugs from the cactus. When you crush them, they turn a magenta, and they can turn your skin dye it like a magenta color, because they love the cactus fruit is the same color if you make a smoothie with it. So of course, like flamingos that eat shrimp, they turn pink. The bugs turn to magenta. So you have to grind it down, and I had to figure out how to make pigment from it because it's usually used for dye, and it wouldn't last if I painted with it. So I had to use beakers and different kind of acids and things, and boil it, and I had to do all these things that I've never done before, and I managed it. So I painted with that, as well as a kind of ode to the ancestors.
Wow, pure
Yeah,
alchemy. I love it. Now, Kizadek
yeah,
would be very proud of you. Absolutely. So these are a couple of mirrors, and Jacob, thank you so much for sharing the pictures for us as we communicated. Where can someone contact you?
you can contact me on Instagram at Mirrored Cosmos, or mirroredcosmos.com is my website, and you can
Can you
just
say that a little slower?
oh yeah, sure. Mirrored Cosmos
Yes, Mirrored
for
Cosmos.
Instagram, or mirroredcosmos.com. And
Yeah,
that's my
contact her. You never know what ancients are going to want to come through and
yeah.
share a beautiful Cosmo mirror with you.
Yeah, I'd love to create for people. Love to.
I love your joy and passion for creating not just the artwork, but all the materials, and for bringing the messages of the ancients, the land, Mother Earth, the trees, the water, everything in and through what
Yeah,
you do. Like, I totally want a mirror. I want a mirror. I don't know
I'll
what
make
that
you.
you make for me, but I
I'll
want
make you one.
I'd like you to have you come here on our property and use our stuff and make a mirror right here. So the
I would
invitation's
love
there
to
for
do
you
that.
guys. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Um, maybe this summer we'll see. So,
Yeah.
do you have projects on hand right now, or why don't we take a
Um.
quick break and we'll come
Yeah.
back and see what else Charlotte wants to give us. So we'll be right back after this message. Welcome back, everyone. How are you? An hour goes by so fast with my guests. I tell you, it's like, we just get started.
There's no
Um,
time. No
I
such thing as
know.
time right now.
That's it. We're in our own timelines.
That's
So,
right.
beforehand, I don't know how much time we have left in the show, Jacob, because I'm spinning with the ancestors in Charlotte over there. I can feel us. We're almost standing on, we're standing on tire swings going, wee, wee. Okay, so we got about 13 minutes. So what I want to do is put my challenge out again. If you would like to be on my show and bring about some spiritual soul truth, some information God has been held from humanity, I'm prepared to do that. I'm teaching a course right now about the four conscious bodies and how we're automatically connected at birth, which will give everyone an ample opportunity to feel and know their soul and the spirit and their light being and their connection. So, with that said, I am going to bring it back over to Charlotte. So, if you want to be on my show, you want me on your show, go to my website, fill out a form, let's talk. I put that challenge out. Thank you. Charlotte, alchemy, woodworking. I mean, who learns how to carve at a gym on the treadmill? Like, You are such a unique, beautiful. From the first time that I met up with you and started talking to you, I just knew that you were such a divine, unique vessel for creation. And your artwork before had all of the crystals and all of the different creations of paints. And now you've moved to the mirrors. Will you also be doing some artwork along with the mirrors, or is your focus right now on mirrors?
I mix it up because wood carving takes a little toll on the hands sometimes. So I like to bounce back and forth. And I'm working on California Desert series. I'm really intrigued by the early California transcendental painters.
Okay.
They're amazing. They take the spirit of the spirit and they paint that in more simplified abstract ways and use color based on feelings and thought. They convey the color of the spirit. So I'm curious about how I can lend that to painting nature here too, summing up the redwoods and the coast here.
So the inside of your bus, is that going to be all your artwork as well?
Right. I'm gonna keep it simple and put a couch and a little area for like wine and cheese, and then just hang up my paintings and park down the coast and have people just come in because I feel like Big Sur needs a revival of art. I mean, it's full of artists, but I have to say it needs a little more spice here. So I want to bring it. I want to bring the community together and just park right next to the ocean and see what happens.
Nice.
Take a jump, take a leap of creativity. I don't know what's going to go on, but I want to make it fun again here. So
Yeah, let's do some quantum curiosity. Everything's quantum. Here we go. So I would love to go sit there and have some wine and cheese with you by the ocean.
yeah, you're
Uh,
invited.
Thank you. So you'll be uploading some stuff. I'm inviting you to upload some of your stuff. We'll do some talking and upload some stuff on my website on the blog. Feel free. We'll do
Okay.
get get it going right. Um
Yeah, definitely.
Next week on Divine Guidance with Patricia, I'm going to have an open call-in show. Any spiritual topic you would like to bring up and to communicate with, let's do it. So that's next week on my show is an open call-in show. And maybe Jacob can flash the number on here so you have it ahead of time. So feel free to call in and let's have a talk. Let's have a chat. Let's see where spirit takes us. I always give my guests the last few minutes. So, Charlotte, I'm going to hand it directly over to you, my darling. I'm going to have you back on my show when you get your bus done.
Okay.
And we'll do an on location with Charlotte, champagne,
Yeah.
and crackers.
Okay.
And
Yeah, yeah.
I'll hand it over to you and I'll let you share whatever you'd like to share to the audience right now, darling. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what I wanted to add, a really major inspiration lately was a powwow I went to at Mount Madonna over here, which is in between Monterey and in between Santa Cruz. And it was a special powwow for the elders. It was the last powwow of the season, just amazing. And I went there, and to describe it was kind of small, but how they do it is they get poles and people can sit under, and they have these thatched leaves that go around in a circle. And I was so happy. I got to see a bear dance. The bear
Nice.
dance. They all came out with the bears. They were cleaning people up. They're going in circles,
Mhm.
pulling the sickness, whatever out, and going to the fire. And that was just amazing. And then I hope I got this right, but there were the other dancers. I think there were Hopi. They're the lightning beings with they've got the headdresses that have the forks that go up. They came through, and I saw spirits just whizzing through. I had one come right through me, and I was there representing my grandma. She had just passed away, and she's Sami. So I
Mhm.
actually handmade my own outfit, my Sami outfit, to represent the elders from the way north. And the next paintings that I want to do that have to do with the desert is actually I want to paint the lightning beings, and I got some photos from one of the the MC there at the gathering, and feel inclined to paint those guys because I saw a lot. I had a lot of feelings. I got tingles going down my arm right now. And I'm really interested in that. And I'm also going down to Big Bend, Texas in a couple months to my family's land in Texas. They have a canyon and the only place with trees right on the edge of the park. And it's one of the darkest places in America at night. There's no light noise.
Mhm.
And I really want to paint the spirit of the desert. And I want to shift into creating a new movement of art here. I'm finding, to be honest, I'm finding Big Sur and Carmel very sleepy for artists. It's not the bohemian, zesty, spicy place that in my mind I had thought. So I'd like to have more gatherings. I have the house in the forest. I want to bring more artists together and network. And even maybe if I, connect with the right people, have them stay and they can just stay for a few days or a weekend and they'll feel free to paint the landscape and enjoy. So maybe it'd be nice to have some artists reach out, and I'd like to network more. And I want to get into the transcendental side of artwork and even with the mirrors. I don't know where I'm going yet with the mirrors with the next one, but I do know I want to play with light, levitation, plasma with the mirrors. I want to combine some kind of technology, whether that be spiritual technology. I guess I'm doing that, but I want to create living mirrors, and I want to embed more crystals. I actually have a mirror planned for my bedroom, and I want to make it a living mirror with orchids coming off.
Nice.
And I want to carve like jungle plants and kind of glow in the dark fungus. I'm into fungus big time right now. So I want to make this giant, huge mirror, like 8 by 10, and just have also put in, I forget what it's called, but like where the smoke kind of comes off, the humidity comes off, like in an aquarium or something.
Yeah, I can
There's
see.
you can do it.
Visualize, but I don't know the name. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to put that in with the plants and the crystals and have it look like a rainforest. So it looks like the mirror frame is breathing. So, and
Nice.
also, I want to work with gold-plated mirrors and dichroic glass, which is like a rainbow glass, like a prismatic glass that in different turns of the light, it changes color. So I'm
So
really
like
into that.
a multi-dimensional mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm
I'm doing it.
formulating that stuff right now. I'm really curious about that. So yeah,
That's
that's where,
amazing. That's a lot of goals that you just put off there. I hope you watch the show back. But if I know anybody that can pull it off, it'll be you, Charlotte. Absolutely.
do you know anybody who can actually help me? I want to have a mirror show at the Temple of Isis in Egypt. I want to have a mirror show and a little gathering there.
Well, let's put it out there. We call the divine deity of Egypt to work with Charlotte and the land, her creativity, her alchemy, and her creation. So we call you forward to communicate with Miss Charlotte.
Yes,
Let me know how that goes.
Sekhmet, the lion goddess, came to me in dream the other night, and I was taking her out from the darkness. She's this huge statue, and I was putting her in front of the building, and she was just massive. And then the more that I was researching her in the temple, I think it's Karnak. There's this temple for Sekhmet. She's a divine goddess, and they
She's also
have
the goddess of war, wasn't she?
I think she was for truth. She kicked butt for anybody who wasn't being good, basically.
Okay.
I like her.
We got
So
3 minutes left.
okay. So
All
if
right.
anybody has a chance, check out the video of Sekhmet, the miracles that are happening. And there's one guy in a video where you see this giant light being in the hand over the top of his head, and it's just like from the art portrayed on the temple, the same hands and everything. It's just amazing.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So she came to me, and she's the good side of fighting for truth. So
Awesome. bring her into the light. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we have about 2 minutes. What would you like to tell the world if you had the opportunity? And you do have the opportunity.
I think what I would like to tell the world is that all the power is within you. Don't let thoughts that are old baggage distract you, because that's going to warp your timeline if you keep going back to that old stuff, because it's only existent if you feed it. So what do you want to feed? Do you want to feed a new reality, a new paradigm? Make that jump and stop letting all the old clutter get in the mind, the chat, the lies of the politician, all this racial stuff. It's focus on what we want to create, because every moment is a new reality. And we
I
have to
love it.
keep on track and not get tricked by the tricksters. Don't
I
be
love it.
unmovable. Be
Yeah.
unmovable and carry the light, and just be kind as you can when the timing is right. Don't be pushover.
I say, let's flip that switch and open people with miracles, kindness, love. Let's show them how beautiful this earth and they are. Let's bring it. Flip that switch. Nobody needs to be opened by disillusion and harm anymore. We're no longer on a duality planet. We can
Yeah.
choose to have positive experiences to awaken, enlighten, and empower. And that's our power. So, with that said, thank you, Charlotte, for being here. Look forward
Thank you.
to seeing more of your work. Thank you, Jacob. And thank you, audience. We'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to Divine Guidance with Patricia on TransformationTalkRadio.com with me, Patricia McNair. Tune in next time to explore more challenges that can help you achieve your whole being. I know we are all capable of truly being whole, and with a little empowerment, anyone can access an entire universe of knowing that is just waiting to be explored. For more information about me and my services, visit divineguidance.earth. That's divineguidance.earth. See you next time, where together we focus on SOULutions for the whole being.